Well, with Wizards of the Coast whizzing Dark Sun right down their own leg by getting rid of slavery and apparently making the game all about fighting Sorcerer King Trump, all while amping up the gore and the blood, which is really only there to appeal to all the midwits out there who think that that's everything that Dark Sun was about. It's easy to forget some of the things that Wizards of the Coast has done in the recent past, and this slipped by me at the time for some reason, or maybe it didn't. I can't remember. I don't recall ever seeing this, but it was brought to my attention, and we talked about it in a recent live stream. So let's look at the DM screen for the 5.5 edition of D&D.
I love this place!
All right, so it might be easy to say, like, well, Wizards of the Coast is, they're on the right track. Dan Ayub apologizing, apparently, to Luke Gygax back in March for the shabby way the company has treated Gary Gygax. But really, I think these are all superficial changes. Wizards of the Coast, nothing will change there until they are out of Seattle, Washington. I don't think you can make any meaningful change to the D&D brand or even Magic at this point without getting it out of the reach of these weirdos that they hire that live and work in Seattle, Washington. It's a lost cause. The culture there is very Marxist, and they will brook no return to the way Wizards of the Coast used to be, even in 3rd edition, or, heaven forbid, TSR. Back in the day. Even if someone like Dan Ayub wanted to change D&D, it's not going to happen. Nothing kind of points out how far the brand has slipped into cultural Marxism than the 5.5 DM screen. I can't believe I didn't make a bigger deal out of this when it came out, because apparently this came out a couple years ago at this point. But let's look at it. All right, so this is the screen in question, and don't disregard the art on DM screens. If you think about it, if you use a DM screen every session, that is the single piece of art that your players see more than any other. I mean, think about it. They're looking into the DM. That is constantly in front of them. Now, maybe they might tune it out after a while, but still, it gets just as much in regards to views as any piece of art in the Player's Handbook, the DM's Guide, Monster Manual. Because it's front and center at the table. And imagine having to look at this every session. All right, so this is from Joy Ang. And, maybe there is a place for Joy Ang's art. And actually, I looked at some of her art. She can do better work than this, which is kind of surprising. Now, it's all soft art, obviously a woman. So there's going to be a female touch to it. Very few female artists kind of have that kind of hard Brahm or, Frazetta edge to them. But, there are female artists who can do much better than this, including her. So I don't know what she was thinking here. But this is so simplistic. This is like Steven's Universe style art. Just not a great fit. But this is kind of like Transformers. There's more than meets the eye here. Emphasis on trans. So let's take a closer look here. All right, so there you have. Okay, you got the black elf. Looks a little weird, and there's a reason for that. You also have this orc character here, this half-orc, whatever. Of course, they're now the good guys in D&D. They're not the people that you slaughter, because they are just stand-ins, I guess, for black people, according to Wizards of the Coast. But let's look a little closer at Germain the elf here. Yeah, what do you notice there under Germain's pectoral muscles? Yeah, those are surgery scars, top surgery scars. In other words, Germain the elf here is a trans black elf, woman to man, apparently. Now, there'll be plausible deniability because the patterns look an awful lot like that little sprig that he has at his waist. Do not be deceived by that. Those are meant to be surgery scars. Of course, this would not even occur in a fantasy world. Like, there's an elf surgeon out there who's transing kids and whatnot. It's so ridiculous. But of course, this is not even the first time this has been done in the RPG field recently. So if you look at this, this is from Daggerheart. 2 symmetrical surgery scars. Again, in what is supposed to be a fantasy RPG. What are we doing here? This is all orthodoxy. This is all ideology. This is almost cult-like that they have to work this in. They always call people on the right, like, oh, you're in the MAGA cult. But these are the same people that go to No Kings rallies. They chant together. There's no room for any sort of leeway in leftist orthodoxy these days. You must accept this, or you are a transphobe. So I am very happy in their terms to be called a transphobe, because I don't accept this. And by the way, look at that left hand on the hip. That hand is jacked. That's what I mean when I say, like, I think this artist actually has done better work. It's not my cup of tea by any stretch. The trans stuff aside, that hand is just off. Your DM screen says a lot about your game, and nothing could say more about the Trainwreck 5.5 edition of D&D than this piece of art here. Somebody looked at this, approved it, and said, yeah, this is how we want to represent our brand. If you had tried to sneak this into, like, let's say a TSR DM screen, the execs, would have been just chuckling and being like, nice joke. All right, nice joke. Where's the real one? Where's the real DM screen? Come on now. All right, it's nice you allowed a 8th grader to a talented 8th grader, to do the art. But where's the real stuff? But no, this is final copy in modern day Wizards of the Coast. How sad. All right, so that's it. You have old zipper tits on the DM screen. But it is kind of funny how this stuff just kind of bubbles up. And whenever Wizards of the Coast is in the news, people always take a fresh look at the abominations that they have inflicted upon the RPG world. So it's not just Dark Sun right now, although we still have the full breadth and depth of that to come. We're just getting a little taste of it now. By the way, disingenuous people will always try to tell you, boy, if you don't like it, man, why even talking about it? Just do the stuff that you like. And to those people, I respectfully say, go fuck yourself. Okay, I will make fun of what I want to make fun of, because it deserves to be mocked. Because quite frankly, nowadays, you can't appeal to logic. Like, you can't appeal logically to anyone at Wizards of the Coast now why having someone with top surgery scars just wouldn't be a good fit in a fantasy world, in addition to just being really, really sick. So you have to sort of make it, for lack of a better word, like cringeworthy to the general public. And I'll happily do my part. If you're defending these people now, what's wrong with you? I have no idea why you would defend these people now, especially after, with Dark Sun, when, I was keeping just this much, the sucker that I am, 1% out of 100, that, maybe this could be them turning the corner. Probably never going to happen, like I said, in a place like Seattle. But for them to already sort of admit that this is not going to be anything like the old Dark Sun. It's just going to be a cheap cash grab, like Spelljammer and Planescape and even Dragonlance. Boy, they are just going through all the old hits, aren't they? Defiling them. It's really, really something to see. But I will have fun mocking it. I'll have fun monetizing it with ad revenue. I have no problem with that. Bring it on. The more they stub their toe, people like me are going to be here, and I will shamelessly mock them for the utter retards that they are. Like a lot of this audience, we will keep a-laughing as they keep, as I said at the beginning, whizzing everything down their leg. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will be back probably on Wednesday, as I am every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our great live stream, The Lair. It's where me and a couple of my buddies, we always crack wise, look at RPG news of the day, as well as other things, even watch some movies, not on YouTube, but over on Rumble. So you can catch us every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube or Rumble. So you guys take care. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk soon. Peace.